guys, welcome back to my channel. It is Cheryl Ashley here. I know it's been about 18 and a half years since I last posted, but in today's video, it's actually going to be a little bit different. I got all 4 of my wisdom teeth taken out about, is it a month? Let's see, today's the 9th. No, not a month yet. So I got them out on May 19th, and I'm just going to basically be explaining the whole process, what it was like healing. I'm actually still healing from the surgery. It's not too bad. I don't really have much pain anymore, but I still have to watch, what I eat, how I eat, and still rinse with salt water. But I have my laptop here, so I wrote all of my notes down because I am infamous for forgetting what I want to say. We'll start out with why I got my teeth extracted. So it started with somewhat of a toothache. I noticed that my right side wisdom tooth at the bottom, it would hurt for maybe like 2 weeks. It would stop and then I wouldn't feel it for months, and then it would come back. Didn't know what to do, and then I started biting down on my cheek, and I noticed I had like it was kind of, I guess, like a bruise. It was like a dark mark on the inside of my cheek from my wisdom tooth biting down on it. I ignored it for a while because, like I said, the pain would go away and then I'd just be like, you know what, I'm fine. But it came back a couple of months ago, and the pain was just bad. I couldn't chew on this side of my mouth. It was just really inconvenient, and I was like, you know what, I probably have to get my wisdom tooth taken out, but I'm gonna go to the dentist just to find out. So I went to the dentist to get some fillings done because I did have cavities. And I told her about my wisdom teeth, and she was like, well, you may have to get all 4 out. It looks like you have to get all 4 removed. And I looked at her and I'm just like,
no, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
I didn't ask for all that. I just wanted this one to get taken out. But she was like, I'm gonna refer you to an oral surgeon, and that doctor will tell you what he or she thinks should be done. So I put it off for a little bit because hearing that I might have had to get all 4 removed, it kind of just made me panic. But I went to an oral surgeon for a consultation. I went on a Friday after work, and he looked at my mouth. I probably saw the doctor for 3 minutes, if that. He looked at my mouth. He was like, yeah, you definitely have to get all 4 removed, because he said at the top my wisdom teeth had no room to grow. So if they grew out, they would push my other teeth, which would not be fun. And then obviously the bottom ones had to go as well. So that was a Friday. They scheduled my surgery for the following Tuesday, which was May 19th. So the day of surgery, I was extremely exhausted because I didn't really sleep the night before. I watched, and this was probably my mistake, but I watched a lot of videos on just wisdom tooth extraction experiences and what to expect. So I had a lot of anxiety and didn't really sleep well the night before. And then I worked that day. I worked a half a day that day just so I could keep myself busy. So I worked from 7 to about 11:30. Took a shower, got ready. I had to be there by like 1:15, 1:30. So I got there, went inside. They had me sign a few forms. Now, I know that's obviously normal. They had me sign like the COVID form, which was, have you had any symptoms, blah, blah, blah. But then they had this form that was, it was like explaining the risks of surgery. They told me my jaw could be broken during surgery. They told me I could get an infection. They told me they could run into some other problem and have to fix it right on the spot. They told me I could die. I said, great, you have my consent. Like, I didn't know what to do, but that freaked me out completely. And then they called me in about 10 minutes later. I had to wait in my car because of COVID-19. Nobody's just waiting in the office. You check in with them, they give you the forms, you wait in your car until they call you back. So they called me about 10 minutes later to go in. My boyfriend, he was in the car. He couldn't come inside, obviously, because of the virus, which was another thing that was pissing me off, because even before the whole pandemic, I've always been petrified of the dentist. That's the only doctor I'm afraid of. And I just know it would have made me feel 1,000 times better if he could go in with me, but he couldn't. They just had him wait in the car. They had strict rules. He had to be in the car. He could not leave the premises until, you know, they called him telling him that my surgery was over. So I went inside. They got me into the surgery suite, or whatever they called it. The nurse or dental assistant, whatever she is, she hooked me up to some wires to monitor my heart rate. She put one on my left ankle, another one on my left wrist, and another one on my right wrist. And then she was like, okay, you're all set. We're just gonna sit here and wait for the doctor to come in. She took my blood pressure. It was fine. I waited there for about maybe 15 minutes, and it felt like forever because I was panicking. The doctor came in and he's like, so what's your name? Verified how old I was, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, you know what you're in for today, right? I'm like, yeah, you're taking all 4 of my teeth out. He was like, okay, good. I was like, just to be sure, I'm not gonna feel anything, right? And he was like, no, you're gonna be knocked out. So then he put the IV into my arm because I was under general anesthesia. And then he was like, you're nervous, aren't you? And I was like, yeah. I was like, how can you tell? He was like, the heart monitor. I didn't even notice the heart monitor was like beep, 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 because my heart was going so fast. I was so scared. I just wanted it to be over. He was like, don't worry, it's gonna be so quick. You're not gonna remember anything. I said, cool, took a deep breath. And he was like, okay, I'm gonna start giving you the medicine now to make you go to sleep. And I was like, okay. And then I remember laying there. I was looking up at the ceiling. They had like the oxygen on my nose. I just remember looking at the ceiling, and I remember feeling a little bit hazy, but I didn't think I was going to sleep. I was just like, whoa. Next thing I know, they were waking me up telling me that I was done. I remembered nothing else. She tapped me and I was like, huh? And she was like, you're done. And I was like, oh, okay, because I had the gauze in my mouth, and I tried to get up like immediately. I don't know if I was gonna try to run out of there or something. She was like, whoa, just slow down. You don't have to go so fast. She was like, do you want to call your boyfriend and tell him that you're done? I was like, yeah. She helped me up. They walked me to, I guess, I don't know what you call it. It was like another room besides the surgery suite where I just waited for him to come in. And then I think maybe about 5 minutes later she came in. She's like, did you call him? And I was like, oh, I forgot. And she was like, don't worry about it, I'll just go get him. So she went outside, got him from the car. I don't remember him walking in. I don't remember seeing him in the office. I do remember slightly walking to the car, and I remember nothing of the ride home. I asked him if I was asleep. He said he could tell I was out of it, but I was awake. I don't remember anything about the ride home. We actually stayed at my parents' house. Just one, it was closer, and he thought I would be more comfortable just around my family. It would help me with the healing process. So we stayed there actually for the rest of the week. So we got home. I got in bed immediately. I had the gauze in my mouth. He left and went to our local pharmacy to get my prescription. They give you a good amount of gauze to keep in your mouth because I was bleeding a lot. But I noticed that the gauze, I felt like it was making my mouth hurt more because I was putting pressure on it. So I actually took the gauze out. I actually think that was a mistake. I'll explain why in a little bit. Now, it was like this for like 2 days. The pain was bad, but it wasn't too much. I expected it. Now, the third day, I noticed that the pain was starting to get a lot worse. Like, it was excruciating. They prescribed me Percocets, and they gave me 10 pills and said I could take them every 6 hours. It didn't help. It didn't help at all. I took the pills and they would probably make the pain go away for like 10 minutes, and then the pain came right back. So at that point, I was like, I'm over the Percocets. I'm not gonna take the rest of them. I probably had like 1 or 2 left. Threw them in the trash. I'm like, they're not helping. I had another bottle of ibuprofen, and that was 800 milligrams. So I was like, you know what? Let me see if this works. I was taking that, I'm pretty sure every 6 hours. Yeah, every 6 hours I was taking that. It definitely helped a lot more than the Percocet, but the pain, when it did come back, it was just unbearable. And I thought to myself, I'm like, this can't be normal. Like, this is 3, 4, 5 days after surgery. I shouldn't be in this much pain. So I started Googling things, and I found an article, and it explained everything that I was experiencing. Like, the pain, it wasn't just in my extraction sites. Like, I felt it in my ears. I felt it in my head. It was just, I can't even compare that pain to anything that I've ever felt. It's hands down the worst pain I've ever experienced in my life. And I'm not trying to scare anyone, but what ended up happening was I had dry sockets. And for those of you that don't know what it is, when you get your teeth removed, in that hole there's a blood clot that's supposed to form, and that's supposed to help you heal. But if that blood clot comes out too early, which in my case that's what happened, that's what causes dry socket. If you're getting your teeth pulled, any teeth, I would take all the necessary precautions to make sure that you avoid getting dry socket, because I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. It's just a really, really bad pain. I wasn't sleeping at night. I would probably get 2, maybe 3 hours, and then I would wake up in the middle of the night in excruciating pain, crying. A couple nights I panicked from anxiety just because I had never felt anything like that before. I didn't know how long it was gonna last. So my boyfriend found a service that you can use to talk to a dentist virtually. So I video chatted with a dentist it was probably like 11 o'clock at night. And I explained to him what was going on. I was like, I'm pretty sure this is dry socket. The pain is bad. I looked up the symptoms. I have all of them. And I actually looked in the mirror, and I couldn't see the top, but I could see that my bottom sockets were definitely dry. It looks kind of yellow. You don't see a blood clot there, so I knew for a fact that's what it was. I told him, and before I video chatted with the dentist, I actually looked up the treatment for dry socket just because I was curious. If you go to a dentist to get this treated, they're gonna clean out the extraction site. So they're gonna take saline or whatever they use in the little, it's like a irrigation kind of thing. They spray saline into it to clean it out. That I already know is painful because your gum is cut, your nerve is exposed, and then after that they take, it's like a really thin strip of gauze, and they put whatever medication on it that they use to help with the pain and healing. They have to pack that into the extraction site using like a little, I don't know dentist terms, I don't know what it's called, but they have to like stuff it into that hole. I looked at my boyfriend and I started panicking. Everyone that I watched on YouTube said the pain was even worse getting it treated, just because, you know, your nerve is exposed and they're packing stuff in there. I said, I can't do it. That's probably not the best way to go, but I just knew I wouldn't be able to handle it. My anxiety it would be through the roof. So when I talked to the dentist online, I told him straight up, I'm like, I really want to avoid going to a dentist. I can't take any more pain that I'm going through right now. And I looked up some articles about it, and they told me that dry socket can go away on its own. So I asked him, I'm like, is that true? And he said, yeah, it'll go away on its own. You're just gonna have to manage the pain. So like I said, I was taking the 800 milligram ibuprofen. He told me to take 600 milligrams of that on top of 2 extra strength Tylenols. So I was taking that every 6 hours. It helped with the pain, so obviously I did it, but I hate taking medication and just taking all those pills. It freaked me out a little bit. I was taking 15 pills a day, which is insane, but that's what I had to do to manage the pain. But he said, just do that every 6 hours. Make sure you brush your teeth twice a day, rinse with salt water 2 to 3 times a day, which is what I was already doing. That was pretty much it. Now today is June 9th. I'm feeling a lot better. I started to feel better, I believe, the following week. That's when I started noticing improvements. But at this point, I'm just glad that I got all 4 teeth removed, because I would never want to go through this experience again. Obviously, dry socket can be avoided. If I didn't have that, then the process would have been a lot easier. So I don't want to freak anyone out, or make them think that getting your wisdom teeth out is just a nightmare, because it's really not. You just have to avoid getting dry socket. Make sure you're not rinsing too soon after surgery, and you're not rinsing too hard. I'm honestly not 100% sure as to what caused me to get dry socket. It could have been removing the gauze so quick. I don't know if I maybe rinsed too hard one day. I thought I was being really gentle, but I don't know. But yeah, if you avoid that, you will be absolutely fine. The surgery, easy. Healing process is fairly easy, minus the dry socket. I don't think I mentioned my diet. I was living on mashed potatoes. I don't even want to have mashed potatoes for like a year. As of right now, I ate so many mashed potatoes, ate a lot of applesauce, pudding, soup. I drank tea. Tea, that brings up another thing that I did. The night that I video chatted with the dentist, I looked up home remedies for dry socket just to manage the pain. And one of them said to take a tea bag, like a black tea bag, put it in hot water, let it sit there for 5 minutes. Take it out, let it cool. Make sure you squeeze the excess liquid out of it. Put the tea bag into your mouth and just bite down on it. I did that for both sides because I had pain on both sides. And that actually helped a lot more than I thought it would. It did feel a little funny and it tasted pretty bad, but it helped with the pain. That was pretty much it. My mom's calling me. Hi, Mommy. I want to give a huge shout out to my boyfriend Esteban, because this whole experience was just, I hate using the word traumatic because I feel like it's dramatic, but I don't know what I would have done. I woke up in the middle of the night 2, 3, 4 in the morning because I couldn't sleep, because I had anxiety, because I was in pain. He woke up without getting upset, without getting frustrated, rubbed my back, told me it was gonna be okay, held me while I cried. I'm so glad that, and now my brother's calling me. I'm so popular today. Yeah, I'm really glad that I had him. He went to the store for me if I needed anything. He just stayed at my house. He worked from home, obviously, at my house because of COVID. Everybody's working from home. He just really made me feel like I could do it and I could get through it. So yeah, I'm glad I had him there. Yeah, and that's pretty much the end of my wisdom tooth extraction experience. It was a nightmare, but I healed. I'm still healing. I feel a little bit sore, but not bad at all. I'm thinking about doing another video regarding everything else that's going on in the world right now. Obviously, we have a lot of issues, a lot of angry people, myself included. I actually went to a protest with my boyfriend and his family on Saturday, and it was my first experience being in a protest. I never thought I would be in one in my lifetime. It was a great experience. I'm so glad that I went. So I'm thinking about doing a video about that and just what it was like, things that I saw, things that I heard. So if you do want to see a video like that, please let me know in the comments below. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up, and also subscribe if you have not already. And lastly, please stay safe. Please stay informed, stay strong. I'm talking to everyone who's upset, who's hurt, who's speaking out. I'm right here with you. I've been going through it. I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching my video, and I will see you guys next week.